There's a lot to love about fat bikes. They're great conversation starters. Their performance in sand or packed snowy trails is amazing. Everything about the bike, from its geometry to its fully rigid design, and even the smaller knob-equipped large diameter tires make perfect sense in these conditions. However, we've discovered that things that make fat bikes great performers in packed snow and sand can detract from their performance in rough, dry trails. We've often pondered what upgrades would best help turn our fat bike from more than just a winter ride into a more capable and fun year-round trail bike. After watching a few fat bike owner regret videos on YouTube, then suffering a flat tire which sidelined our Salsa Beargrease, we decided to deck it out in our list of carefully thought out and somewhat price-conscious upgrades. In part 1 of this project, we worked with Reeser Bicycle Outfitters located in Newport, Kentucky, and available for shopping worldwide at reeserbicycleoutfitters.com. They handled our fat bike upgrade for us and can help you with a new bike or a dream bike build of your own. We cover the construction, features, and specifications of all of the products used in depth during our build in part 1. We highly recommend going back and watching that video first if you haven't, to get up to speed on the details of all of the items used. In this video, we'll focus on the performance and benefits of each component separately and together. We know money doesn't grow on trees, so we'll present our upgrades in the order of how much performance we felt they delivered for the amount of money spent. If you're not comfortable with your bike's cockpit, it's not time for other upgrades. Dial in your bike's fit first. Prior to this project, our fat bike's ergonomics were customized with a 70mm Renthal Apex stem and 760mm Renthal Fat Bar Light aluminum handlebars. Legendary in the world of motocross, Renthal builds components with excellent strength and craftsmanship while keeping weight in check. We installed a set of P&W Loam XL lock-on grips to try something new. After a few rides, we find their larger diameter comfortable and easy to hold onto for our mid to larger size hands. The grip's tread provides good traction for gloved or bare sweaty palms, with no excessive palm wear or blistering to report. They also helped play a role in reducing arm pump in rough terrain. A set of Pedaling Innovations Catalyst pedals were carried over to this bike a few years back. Despite a number of battle scars and numerous power washes, the 6-year-old pedals are still working flawlessly, with zero service thus far. We love the stability of the large low-profile platform and the lower center of gravity they provide. We found the pedals to provide good grip in drier conditions without switching out to the more aggressive grub screws. Pedaling Innovations' latest versions have additional screws for increased grip, making their newer models even better. While not cheap, upgrading to the right set of tires can make the biggest improvement in performance for your fat bike. A while back, we compared a 26-inch wheel-equipped Salsa Beargrease to their updated 27.5-inch wheel-equipped version, using 45 North Vanhelga tires as a control tire on both bikes. Between that test and this project, the 45 North Vanhelga tires have proven to work well in both dry and wet conditions, delivering the added traction and good cleanout needed in wet snow or mud, thanks to their tall, widely spaced sipe knobs. Excellent directional control and front-end grip had us pushing harder and leaning farther in corners. We found them to typically offer good predictability before washing out. They were so predictable that we could even controllably drift the back end, pedaling through slick, muddy turns. The dramatic increase in traction was also accompanied by a substantial improvement in ride quality. Their higher thread count allows them to more easily conform to the terrain, taking the edge off roots and rocks, with a massive reduction in deflection off bumps. It's similar in feeling to adding a little bit of suspension, without actually adding suspension, even while running a pressure that provides predictable support and consistent handling in corners. In spite of their more aggressive tread, their 120 TPI construction still shaved rotating mass, ramped knobs, and a dual tread compound leave them feeling like a respectably fast accelerating tire. The 45 North Vanhelga tires added speed, control, and confidence in all conditions, while greatly improving ride quality. Being able to run a tall seat height for pedaling efficiency in the saddle and lower it at the push of a button made dropper posts a game changer and something missing from many fat bikes. Our older Beargrease, small 27.2mm seat post diameter, and lack of internal dropper post routing is limiting. But P&W Components offers a couple options. The P&W Coast offers a modest 100mm of drop combined with 40mm of air-adjustable shock absorption. Recalling the feeling of the big tires pinging off bumps through the saddle, we opted to give P&W suspension post a try. We paired it with P&W's Loam Generation 2 lever, which offers a great feel and plenty of leverage for easy dropper actuation. The rubber thumb pad offers a nice touch point and is available in different colors to match your ride. We ran the maximum 300 pounds of air pressure recommended by P&W. This kept the post topped out a majority of the time as we wanted, opening up for bumps that would have otherwise been uncomfortable. You can feel the seat post topping out, but we found it mild enough to ignore considering the benefits and overall comfort. While it may not sound like a lot compared to some of the much longer dropper posts used on modern trail bikes, the Coast's 100mm of drop allowed us to charge steep descents with greater confidence and employ more body English for aggressive cornering. Perhaps if we were building a race bike, we would have gone with P&W's Pine dropper post, which is around 92 grams lighter but doesn't offer any shock absorption. For our trail rig, we have no regrets going with P&W's Coast suspension dropper post. If your fat bike didn't come with a suspension fork, it's one of the biggest upgrades you can make for trail riding to increase control, speed, and reduce fatigue. Wren's Sports Suspension Fork features an inverted design with massive 43mm uppers and 36mm stanchions at the bottom. The fork features a twin air chamber design with a floating piston. The upper chamber, filled at the top of the left leg, sets your sag and initial spring rate. Adding air to the lower chamber through the lower left leg is like adding volume spacers to a conventional fork, although air pressure is more infinitely adjustable. Increasing the lower chamber's pressure increases how progressive the suspension action is, increasing bottoming resistance. The top of the right leg features low-speed compression adjustment, offering the ability to fully lock out the fork. Rebound damping adjustment is found at the bottom of the right leg. Internally, Wren's all-weather damper is designed to help prevent performance loss and failure in extreme sub-zero temperatures. The fork's overall length and travel are both internally adjustable. Suspension travel can be set up between 70 and 110 millimeters of travel. We set our fork up with 90 millimeters of travel to meet our Beargrease's geometry and setup needs. To set up the Wren fork, we opened up the compression and rebound damping all the way. We set the initial air pressure with around 25% sag. We then added air to the lower chamber until we could no longer bottom the fork, compressing the bike as hard as we could under the rider's weight and strength. Dialing the compression adjustment in halfway helped slow the fork down for a bit more bottoming resistance and a better pedaling platform. The lightweight, winter spec fork oil had us running rebound damping in all the way to provide adequate rebound control and reduce the fork's topping out sensation. We were able to make the fork work well with the lightweight OEM oil. However, we think those who don't ride in temperatures below zero can gain from running a slightly heavier fork oil, allowing them to run less damping for a quieter ride and perhaps even better performance. Once dialed in, the fork helped take the edge off small high-speed hits from roots and rocks that got past the tires, offering enough bottoming resistance to easily hold up to a few feet of air. That's asking a lot from a relatively short travel fork. Beyond that, the Wren's chassis feels rigid and precise, as we'd like from a high-performance fork. We found that the fork's 45mm offset, combined with our Beargrease's slightly slackened front end geometry, providing good steering precision at low speed with improved high-speed stability. Combining the shorter, more cross-country type travel needed by most fat bikes, with a burly all-mountain feel out on the trail, we've come away pleased with the performance of the unique inverted suspension fork from Wren Sports. The icing on the cake for this build was switching to a 1x drivetrain with a clutch-equipped rear derailleur. This made room for the dropper lever, reduced weight, chain slap, and chain drops. Box components Box 2 Prime 9 drivetrain is their very reasonably priced mid-level drivetrain. It offers gear ratios similar to a modern 1x12 setup, working seamlessly with our Shimano HG Free Hub. The drivetrain consists of a Box 2 multi-shift shifter, clutch-equipped X-wide rear derailleur, 11 to 50 tooth cassette, nickel-coated chain, a new shift cable and housing. An aluminum spider in the cassette is said to help reduce weight and improve shifting feel, in addition to numerous other upgrades over their Box 3 drivetrain to improve performance. We retain the use of our bike's stock SRAM X5 cranks to help keep costs down, paired up with a 30-tooth wolf-tooth narrow-wide chainring to round out the drivetrain. With the wider gears, chain, and larger jumps between cogs on the wide ratio 9-speed, shifting precision is good, but not quite as snappy as a higher-end 12-speed cable-actuated drivetrain. With Box 2, we seemingly never miss shifts and have yet to drop a chain. The clutch-equipped derailleur has virtually eliminated chain slap. The gear ratios are wide enough for downhill runs on the pavement, yet low enough to climb a wall. The Box 2 shifter allows you to downshift multiple gears at a time, but limits you to single-click single-gear upshifts. With the wide ratio 9-speed, 1 or 2 shifts makes a big difference in gearing, but we didn't notice any annoying gaps between the gears. With 10 or more rides on our Box 2 Prime 9 drivetrain, we're very happy with its performance for the money spent. Overall, it was a great upgrade, and it was affordable enough that we don't even mind taking it out and getting it dirty. Our bike's older Avid hydraulic disc brakes don't quite perform like today's top-of-the-line brakes, but they still offer sufficient power for the trails we ride. Had our bike been spec'd with mechanical disc brakes, we'd definitely be swapping them out. We met up with Jason Reeser to film our fat bike upgrade. Overall, the bike is vastly improved as a year-round trail machine. The combination of the 45 North Vanhelga tires and Wren suspension fork had us charging through routes at higher speeds, jumping farther, and pushing the bike harder in corners than we've ever dared. The tires help the bike track better at both ends through bumps, with the fork doing an admirable job of handling everything we threw at it. We were very impressed with the diversity of terrain that the 90mm of travel that we set the fork up with could handle. The slightly slackened front ends, mild increase in stability, further bolstered our willingness to charge down rough high-speed sections. Already comfortable with the Renthal bars and stem prior to beginning this build, their larger diameter P&W XL grips paired nicely with the other controls, tires, and fork, resulting in a major reduction in arm pump and hand fatigue. We also continue enjoying the large surface area and thin design of the catalyst pedals, providing good grip, excellent support, and maximizing ground clearance. Build quality continues to impress. P&W's Coast suspension dropper post made a major reduction in the amount of bumps being transferred to our backside through the seat. As its dropper function goes, the P&W Coast is a smooth operator, thanks in part to the action of the Loam 2 lever. While it's not the 200mm of drop that many are after on modern trail bikes, 100mm of drop allows you to get further off the back of the bike and lower in corners than you might expect, especially if you've been riding a bike with no dropper post for years. The Box 2 Prime 9 drivetrain doesn't feel quite as refined as a modern high-end Shimano or SRAM drivetrain, but its gear ratios, drop-free performance, lighter weight, and consistent shifting make it an upgrade we're very happy with. The increased speed and comfort of our fat bike have dramatically increased the frequency with which we choose to take it out, while leaving our high-end full suspension bike hanging on the wall at home. Having completed this project, our biggest regret is that we didn't do it sooner. If you're considering a similar build, we think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much performance is lurking in your fat bike. Fat bike regret doesn't have to be a part of your life if you set the bike up right for your type of riding. If you're a current or potential fat bike owner and you found this video helpful, we hope you'll consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.